I've been following Depp and Heard since before the UK, and you gotta understand, when this news came out about them, Johnny and Amber, there was just a whirlwind of media covering it, like dozens of them, so it was hard to keep track of who was who and what exactly was up. Now, Inside the Magic covered the case, covered Johnny, covered Amber, and I covered them. I think at that time, they had some things to say, some information to pass along, maybe regurgitated, maybe, a repeat of somebody else, but nonetheless, something. This year's called Johnny Depp's movie career could be over amid new developments from August 16th, 2023. And what I'm realizing, as the news is pretty much completely plateaued out, they're pretty much making up things out of nothing. I mean, you'd read this, what do you think? Okay, is this the first report on something happening to Johnny right now? Did something go down? Is something breaking? Well, not really. Let's take a look. They start off saying that Johnny Depp's had quite the illustrious career. They start with his breakthrough role from the 1980s with Edward Scissorhands. Why? I mean, what are we writing here? Is this a book on Johnny's life, or is this a 4-minute, 5-minute read of an article of something current? They say, of course, his most iconic role was Jack Sparrow. Okay. I mean, repeating a few things for context is okay. But talking about Johnny's career for 2 paragraphs here, things we've known for 35 years, that's just completely filling space. They go back to mention Tim Burton, who they mentioned before when they mentioned his career. Now they've got a whole list of things he did. Public Enemy, Black Mass, Fear and Loathing, Alice in Wonderland, what? August 16th, 2023, what are we talking about? Your article says his movie career could be over. You don't have to list his entire career. However, his career's been without controversy. Oh, I see, thank you. Fans have been wondering whether Johnny will return to Hollywood, but recently, he had an interview where Alice Cooper mentioned him. They quote Alice Cooper, but what does this have to do with it? Alright, here's the thing. They're vaguely putting together the point, they're implying that since he's playing with the Hollywood vampires, that might mean, but they don't say this, that might mean he's not going to make movies again, but he just made Gene DeBari. His guitar playing is something I covered in an article exclusively about music, which was the right place for this. Now it's just in their article that says Johnny's career's ending. I'm gonna guess it's not. Okay, his movie career. Excuse me. Though many have expressed backlash about Depp forming the band with Cooper and Joe Perry in the past, I don't know who, there's a growing sentiment he'd be just fine if he left his acting career behind entirely to pursue music, especially from those closest to him. I hope, of course, that Depp will return to Hollywood one day, that will see him play more iconic roles like Jack Sparrow, blah 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 blah. Okay, they mentioned that Disney might be bought by a trillionaire group. I somehow don't trust that title. Knowing what I know now, I guess this website just got worse. So sometimes I say here, what I do is I check out who's on Johnny's side, who's on Amber's side, things like that, but I lose track because there's so many. But now, I think it's safely stored in my memory that Inside the Magic has got to be taken with huge chunks of salt, and unless they have something really substantial to say, once again, even if they're reporting on someone else, as long as it's good information, new information, that's okay. But stuff like this, I haven't seen this level that often of a title that's such a stretch to what 95% of the article says. Let me know what you think down below. Doing shout outs, special thanks, things like that. As you could have guessed, news is kind of slow. You probably know about Dan Wooten and Byline Times reporting on him, but so far, haven't seen a new one. If you do see a video about Dan before this video, keep in mind it's been about 8 days in between their reports. So I'm kind of worrying if something happened with them legally. We shall find out. Anyway, Enough about that. If you're not subscribed here, consider it. If you don't, I'll be sad, but I'll get over it. See you next time.